everybody, it's Cody, Dixon RC here. So today we're going to build something a little bit different as far as scale truck goes. This is a crawler. It's going to be a little bit different. So I saw Jay Kendall from SOR Graphics post something about a kind of like a mishmash buggy thing. So I hit him up and asked what it was and tried to figure out more details of what's going on. So there's a club, it's over middle America, West Coast area. It's called Werock, I think is the name of it. They build these wild, buggy, four-wheel steering, short wheelbase, odd-looking crawling trucks, and they have little competitions where they do 15 gates or whatever. And of course, these are big gates, but they do that, and it's real technical and real crazy and wild, high articulation, four-wheel steering, just wild stuff. It's really cool. Once I looked into it, it was really, really neat to see. So he built one, and I was like, well, you know what, I'll build one. I can get all these parts and things. I can build something cool, something to show you guys. And if you want to build something like this, you can do that as well. There is many, many options to how to build one of these. You don't have to do this exact way, but the way I did it was I took, you take an element builder's kit and you buy another front axle, and C-hubs and knuckles. And you put it all together. You only use the transmission, the skid, the links, and the axles themselves. Everything else you just keep in the box and you do something else with it if you want to or whatever. Then you take a G-Made R1 cage kit, and this comes with a kit with spacers and a bag of bolts and stuff like that as well. And you get G-Made panels, and then boom, you got yourself a cool little crawler. Now I went with Capra shocks with my Mini T mod setup on it. I cut I do like I did my TRX ones. I can do that with these as well. Going with the Fusion 1800 Fusion. The only reason why I'm doing that is because of space. You have no space in this. You want to do some sort of interior, and I've got like a SMT 10 interior to fit here, but it doesn't. It's crazy. How Jay did it, I have no idea. He jammed it in there. Fly Sky, of course. I'm going to utilize Boom Racing's Python servos. These are a different kind of servo. They don't have ears on the side like most traditional servos. It is on the bottom, and they bolt directly to Enduro chassis or Enduro axles. So we go 4-link in the front. So you go 4-link in the front and the rear. Of course, the rear is already 4-link, but the front, you buy Boom Racing makes a kit to add the 4th link, and they give you a pan or a steering rod as well. I think that's about it. I'm using a Gens Ace 850 Mob 75C 3-cell battery. It's very small, but it shouldn't take, if we're going to do a 10, 15 gate course or just a little bit of crawling, that should get me enough. And I've got multiple of those in stock, and they're cheap, and they work out well. So what I'm going to do here is I've got all the parts to get. I've put it together once already to make sure everything fits and how I wanted it to fit. I did build this with the smallest, shortest wheelbase that comes in the element kit. So it's like 11.3, I think, or something like that. It's very short. No, I take that back. I went 12. I went 12.0, so I wanted it to be a little bit longer. I was going to build this and do class 3 with it, possibly, maybe at like the Scaleplex or something. I did put narrow hustlers on these weighted Integi wheels, but I'm going to have to change these. These look really good on here, and I'll keep them on here until I decide what tire to go with for class 3. Maybe do like a flat iron or something. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. It's got, and this is when I say mishmash of things, this has got element stuff, G-Made stuff, it's got axial stuff, Boom, Capra. I mean, I've got all kinds of different random stuff throughout this whole build. So I'm going to come around here, we'll go over each individual thing, then I'm going to do time-lapse of probably putting it together. I don't really want to spend 20 minutes in this video putting it together and slicing it together and all that stuff like that. So we'll probably do time-lapse because it's quicker for me to do it that way, and it's quicker for you guys to see it as well. If you got questions about how to build or what to build, please ask. I will answer everything I can. It's very simple to do. This is pretty much like building a scale truck without rails, pretty much. And you don't have to worry about panhard crap either because you've got axle mounted servos and all that stuff like that. The biggest thing you got to worry about is making sure your rod ends are lined up with your links and stuff like that. So stay tuned. I'll be back in just a second. All right, so let's go over all the individual different deals. So if you're going to do an element transmission, element skid, I'll show you this here. You have to cut off the ends of the element skid just so you have 2 bolts here, because those 2 bolts line up with the 2 bolts right here in this G-Made chassis. I have this G-Made chassis set up already with most of the spacers. I don't know if that's exactly how they're supposed to go. Of course, you can't find instructions nowhere. So, you know, it is what it is. Not a big deal. We'll figure it out. But so let's go over the Boom Python servo. This is their new servo. It is a 45 kilogram servo at 7.4 volts. It's very nice, very sleek, very not, you know, it comes with 2 different servo horns, a long one and a short one. But this is where it really shines. It is the eyelet, instead of them being on the side like normal servos, it's down here on the bottom. These fit directly on enduro axles because of the hole right here. You can also put these on BRX 70s, BRX 90 axles from Boom Racing, the narrow AR 44s. These will fit on the AR 44 with the kit that, you know, like if you have Boom fat axles, you can bolt them to the center, it'll bolt there. These bolt on multiple different kinds of chassis or axles, excuse me, using Boom's adapters. They make adapters that bolt to every axle. Like they have them for the MST axles, they have them for the SEX 10 axle, 10.2, and all that stuff like that. But the cool thing, I went with those because I'm using element axles. I probably would have done something a little bit different if I would have thought about it. I would have used maybe this transmission, this skid, but used maybe Boom complete AR 44s, maybe like 2 fronts, and then done that instead. I don't know. I don't really know. It's okay. This works. This will be fine. I've done it already, so there ain't nothing I can really do about it now. I've got wild bore drive shaft in the back and like a Boom 81 to 109 in the front. This will get changed to a Boom one as well soon. It's just what I got laying around. I didn't have another one to put on the front, so I just used that one. So it works. And like I say, Genza's Tattoo 850 Mob 75C 3-cell battery. It's a great little deal. Works perfect. And I also was the first time I've done any styrene work to build anything. I built a battery tray that goes across the front, and the reason being is for this. Probably going to do Velcro. It's going to stick there. I did a receiver mount as well. Braced it up in the back and all as well, but it's going to go right here on the transmission. Drilled a little hole in there, and it's going to go right here. Pretty cool little deal. It's going to sit right there, so it's not super high, not super low, and it's really got somewhere to go. Really, that's the biggest thing, because there's really, I mean, the room in this is about, there's none. You'll see once I put it together. But so we're going to do that. I'm going to do time lapse me putting this thing back together, because there's no reason for you to sit here and wait for me to do this, because it'll take me a little bit to do. I'll probably shoot a separate video on if you want to change your enduro over to one of these Python servos. I have these in stock, so you're ready to go. Also have the 4-link deal as well. So hang tight. I'll be back when I get done. All right, so hopefully that showed you kind of how to put all this together. It's basically pretty simple. You build your enduro kit, skid transmission axles, get you another front axle. You chop off the arms that come off of the skid here. I did things a little bit differently when I put this together. This is probably about the 4th time I've put this truck together. So you're supposed to put links here and here. I put the back one's uppers here. I was trying to put the front's uppers here, but I can't because of the motor. It is in the way. Of course, this is a Fusion, so it's a little bit bigger than it should be. Probably would work if you're running a normal 540. So I put the uppers down here below the skid, so it's still above the lower. Maybe it'll work. We don't know. I don't know yet. We'll see. Now comes the fun part of doing electronics. Like I said, I have a battery tray that I built out of styrene that goes in here in between these post here and here. It sits right in here, so perfect spot for the battery. So I built a receiver tray out of styrene as well, and it's held on with one bolt right there, the transmission. It's pretty stout. It's not going nowhere, which the receiver doesn't weigh much anyway. Then you got to figure out what to do with all the wiring. Now, I started on the front, just zip tying with the little nubs in the back, just against the frame rail here. I'm going to try and do that with the front and the back. I don't really know how I'm going to do that. Then just going to wrap around the fusion receiver or receiver wire as well, just kind of loop it and tie it all together. Then you got to figure out something to do with this power switch, which you have to have. So, you know, you got to figure out something to do with that. So I'm probably going to loop that around and probably just put that more or less on the back here so I can just press the button really quickly. So we'll do that and then put panels on it and then put wheels and tires on it and then be able to drive it. So it shouldn't be too much longer. So I'll be right back. All right, I got this thing together. I hope I don't have to take it apart again. I put the panels on, as you can see, side panels, top panel, the hood. There's nothing in the back. I just kind of don't really want to take it back apart again. So I may take it apart again to redo this receiver because I don't like that you can see that. I think I have room up under the battery tray, like about right in here. I think I can maybe fit it in there and not really worry about the drive shaft. Hopefully it won't touch it. I don't know. Things I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to change this brace here because when you go full compression, the servo seems to stop it. Probably only have a millimeter or two of movement past that. So we'll see. Maybe I may not move it. I may not do anything to it. I may just leave it alone. Overall, this thing sits super low. I think I measured it the other day. It was a couple of millimeters off the ground. It's about, I would guess, about 17 millimeters off the ground at full droop. I'm running this Genzace 850 milliamp battery. It's very tiny. I did Velcro in the battery tray on the inside for styrene there. Tried to shove the wires behind the panel as best you can, so when you see it from the side, all you see is the receiver with the wires, and of course you're gonna see the battery plug. But hopefully it won't be too bad. Hopefully it won't bother me too much. So we'll try and see. So let's weigh this thing, see what it weighs. Now with the battery in it, and this should be everything. This is the battery, the motor, 2 servos, wheels that have a little bit of weight to them as well, because these are those Integi Team Raffi ones. So it's 5 pounds, 1.7 ounces. Not too bad. Could probably be a little bit lighter in places. I'm sure maybe put lighter wheels and then put weights in certain places. Oh, this may be fine. I don't know what the bias is. I would assume probably, if I'm feeling it, it's kind of even. It's not really, maybe it's got a little bit more front, mainly because of the battery and the motor sticks towards the front. That's probably about it. Other than that, it's probably pretty even because it's evenly set up. So I'm going to go drive this around. All right, so we're out here. Pay no attention to all my grass. I have let my little crawler course get it's kind of bad. Also had a tree limb fail. Didn't even know that happened. It must have happened here recently. So I'm going to try and get a little bit of footage of this thing driving. The crazy thing about this GT5 remote is you actually have to go into the settings and go into crawl mode and change it, you know, that way. You can't just, like, it'd be cool if you could press the channel 3 button and change each setting. So anyway, we'll do what we can, but it's be pretty cool to see how this thing does. It's pretty slow. That fusion is super slow. Gotta love it. Put me a flat belly on this thing. Give me a flat skid somewhere. This low belly on this thing sure is not doing very well. Problem is I'm getting stuck right there. There we go. All right, so let's try and climb up the big one. I don't think it's going to have any problems with it because it seems to climb. I think this is really going to be a truck that's really good at doing some legit crawling up big rocks, not, you know, this little trail type stuff, because it's not really. Yeah, I didn't think it would have any trouble doing this. Let's see if we can get it. Setting it by the trim, do throttle trim to see if it'll, whenever it starts to go. Yeah. Look at how slow the fusion goes. It may not climb this. It is though. It's doing good. No, ain't got enough speed, so. You can really tell that overdrive is kicking in too. It's doing really well. And of course the drag brake's really good. This Fusion is great with that. Now I don't think I'm gonna have a hard time getting over this ledge here. I tried to knock it down a couple times for the regular trail trucks to try and make it easier to get over onto, you know, to go from here to here, because from there to there is a little bit tough. That's what I figured. The links, see the links touching there. See how well this thing will climb up here and then climb up the side. Oh, oh, oh. way I wanted it to. Let's see if I can get this. Pretty good side hill there. Man, well, put some high clearance links on this thing. All right, so first run out with a little moon buggy. It's pretty cool. I think it's gonna be fun. Be cool to try different things, different terrains. This is not for trailing, so a trail truck, this is not. This would be better for some legit serious rock crawling. Gonna have to do something with links. I'm going to put some high clearance ones on there because those things are all up in the way. Also gonna try and figure out a way to put a flat skid in it as well. So that's it. Pretty good for a first little outing with the truck. Hope y'all guys enjoyed it. Please give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, the whole deal. You know the deal. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.